This video will demonstrate the software for your IPEVO document camera called Visualizer. Now there are two different ways to use Visualizer. One is with a Windows software program, and the second way is with a Visualizer Chrome app. We recommend that you use the Chrome app because it's much more lightweight and more responsive when you're using your document camera. To access the Chrome app, you'll go up to the upper left-hand corner and click on the Apps button. Now, if you do not see this Apps button, you may need to right-click on your bookmarks bar and choose Show Apps Shortcut. Make sure that is checked, and if it's checked, you should see this little colored Apps button. When you click on it, it'll take you to a page, and you may have multiple pages here. Just locate the IPEVO Visualizer icon. This has been pushed out to all staff members. When you click on it, Visualizer will open. You'll notice that you have an icon in the lower taskbar. To make it easier to access the program, I recommend that you go down to this icon right away, right-click on it, and choose Pin to Taskbar. This will keep this icon remaining in your taskbar even after the program is closed. So if I close the program, now I can easily access it again just simply by clicking on this icon, and it will reactivate my document camera and open up the program. At any time, I can minimize the program by clicking on the icon again, and then re-accessing it just simply by clicking on that icon. It makes it very easy if you're using something like a Google Meet and going back and forth with your document camera. Now let's talk about the settings on the Visualizer software. First of all, in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to see that we've got a camera icon here. When you click on camera, it allows you to select which camera source you would like to use. If I click the pull-down arrow here, you can see that currently I have my integrated webcam that's on my laptop, and then also my document camera. So if you're seeing yourself in this image, it means that your webcam is activated. You just need to switch that over to your document camera. The vertical keystone and horizontal keystone, this is primarily used when you're projecting this image up on a screen. And maybe your screen is a little bit tilted or a little bit angled from the top and the bottom. What this would allow you to do is kind of straighten that image out on that projection screen a little bit just by moving your keystone. In most cases, you're just going to have it reset to 0, so it's straight horizontally and vertically. Next, you're going to see the magnifier, pretty self-explanatory. You can zoom in and out on your image. Your rotation tool, this allows you to rotate at these 90-degree settings, and you can also move it a little bit by very specific degrees. But don't forget that you also have your camera head. So if I move the camera head on the IPEVO itself, I can also adjust that. And I find that that's a little bit easier, especially with lined paper, to just move the camera head to find the correct angle that I want so that everything is nice and level. This can be really helpful when you're using your reader, which I'll explain a little bit later on. Next is your resolution. Your IPEVO camera has very high resolution, but the more pixels we push through your screen or through a Google Meet, the harder or the more processing power it requires of your computer. So what I really recommend you do is leave it at 1280 by 720. If you move it to this setting, you're going to get a nice clear image, and you're not going to get any higher resolution by moving this up, especially if you're using a projector or a Google Meet. So this is a really good setting. It's going to give you fast response time, so when you move your hand underneath the camera, there's not going to be a lot of lag or delay with that image. Next, you'll see this image icon. This is for accessing the gallery, and we'll talk about the gallery here in just a second. So down in the bottom center, you've got an annotation tool. If I click on this pen, it's going to activate my annotation tools, which will allow me to write over the top of my live image. So you can see that my image is live, but I'm able to draw on top of everything here. I can change the color of that simply by clicking on my marker and changing it so I can see different colors. And I can also change the size of that marker as well. The eraser, if I click on the eraser tool, it will allow me to erase some of that line. If I click on the eraser and click clear all of my markups will be erased. If I click on the camera, it'll take a snapshot. So if I do a little bit of annotating here and underline some things and change the color and have some more annotations, if I decide I want to keep that image, I can click the snapshot. You'll see the flash. It's going to take a picture, go over to my gallery, and that image will now be in my gallery. You can see it's a JPEG, so that image has been saved to my gallery. I can double click on it to bring that image back up if I want to use it at a later time. Down in the lower right hand corner when I'm in the gallery view, I can rotate that image. I can also save it as a PDF. So if I click PDF, it'll bring up my, my Windows program or my folder program, and I can go to either my Google Drive or wherever I would like to save that image. And then I can also download that specific. If I want to keep it as an image, I can download it and again save it to whatever folder I would like to place it in. Or I can trash it. To return back to the document camera, I just click on the camera icon. Now you can also record some videos. So right above the camera icon, I can see this little arrow. If I do that pull-up arrow, it's going to bring me the option to switch over to video. So I can actually record here up to 15 minutes of a little video recording. So if I'm working out a math problem, you can see I've got a microphone right here. So you have a microphone built into your document camera. You can record whatever notes or whatever you're displaying on a piece of paper, or if you're filling out a worksheet demonstrating something for students, this is a great way to record that. And again, when you record a session, so if I just hit record, you can see that it begins recording, and as I'm taking my notes, whatever I'm doing down here is all going to be recorded. If I hit stop, it will save it to the gallery. So now if I go to the gallery, you can see here's my image. Instead of it being a JPEG, it is now a WebM for web movie. In that file, if I double click the file, that video will come up here, and I can of course play it. I can also download it. So if I would like to move this into my Google Drive, I can click the folder, go to my G drive, so my Google Drive file stream, go into the My Drive folder, and save that video wherever I would like. Again, I can trash that, or go back to my document camera by clicking on the camera icon. Click my up arrow. I've got a few more features here you're probably not going to use, but this is a time-lapse feature. This is if you're doing stop motion, so if you do like to do some type of animation, you can click a picture, move an object just a little bit, click a picture again, move the object just a little bit again, click a picture, move the object again, and that's going to give you an animated series. So it'll give you a video file. Again, all of that will go over to the gallery. Last thing is that if you have a QR code on a magazine or something, this can also be a QR code reader. But generally, you're going to be in the camera position, and you'll rarely switch that over to anything other than maybe a video. Now right now you can see my camera is live. If I were to freeze that and move my hand underneath the camera, you will not see it anymore because it's been frozen on that image. Click it again, it'll unfreeze. There's my hand, and I can click freeze, and now my hand will stay in that position. So it's just it's not taking a picture, but it's just going to freeze that frame. Next is you're going to see the reading guideline. So now with this tool, and this is where I mentioned earlier about rotating the head of the camera, this can really help you get it so that if you're using that reading guideline, you can make sure that your lines are real straight with it. And now as I move up and down on that page, students can see exactly the position where I am reading. Now if that yellow highlighter isn't quite the right size, there are 3 different sizes for it. So if I right click on it, it goes to the medium size. Right click again goes to the large size. If I right click one more time, the highlighter is going to disappear. And now I just have the line tool. And you can see there's like a little laser pointer at the tip of my arrow so that students know exactly where I am pointing. If I click on this one more time, it's going to switch from the guideline to the reveal tool. So now if you had a worksheet with some different questions and the answers below, you could take those with your class one by one. And again, right now it's automatically set to the small view. If I right click on it, it'll go to a medium size. Right click again, goes to a large size. Right click one more time, it'll return back to small. If I click the reading guideline again, it takes me back to the normal settings. Your last tool here is the grid lines. So I can have a center line here going horizontal, center line going vertical. I can do where it's doing rule of thirds or a quad segment. So the last thing here is that if I click this one more time, of course we'll reset to no lines. Now the last thing is that if these tools on the bottom are kind of in your way, so if there's something right here that I wanted to read on my document, I can click anywhere on my image and those tools will disappear. click one more time, those tools will reappear. So a lot of times when you're using the document camera, you may want to bring this up to full screen, click one time on your image to get rid of those tools at the bottom, and that kind of gives you more of a distraction-free area. This video demonstrated the IPEVO document camera software called Visualizer using the Chrome app.